Welcome back to Talking Fitchburg. All right, Andrew Bamlett had a chance to go out yesterday.
Did
his homework. He went and attended this Xbox. What was the official name here? I gotta look back. You think we read it 100 times, and I could tell you what it was, but the Xbox story it was called.
Yes.
So. Beautiful. So what we're going to do is play this package for you right now, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss. Here it is.
Robbie served as the president of Entertainment and Devices Unit at the Microsoft Corporation. And we're excited to have him here in the city of Fitchburg this afternoon. Robbie started his career at Microsoft back in 1988, and he was, in fact, their go-to man. He served as their senior vice president of home and entertainment. He served as the vice president of home and retail. He served as the vice president of learning, entertainment, productivity, and desktop applications and marketing. It's a long title. Robbie also served as the chief Xbox officer and was directly responsible for Xbox, Microsoft Xbox 360, and all of the next generation game consoles. This responsibility included leading the teams that developed the console, hardware, and the third-party games published under Microsoft Game Studio labels, as well as teams that managed Xbox 360, Xbox operation, marketing, research, sales, and support.
That makes it sound like I was really busy at Microsoft. I'm going to have to figure that all out. Michael, thank you for the introduction. And I want to thank everybody. There were so many people involved in my visit. I'm not going to go through all of them individually, but I really want to thank people for bringing me to Madison. And I should point out, this is actually home for me. I grew up, my mom and dad were born and raised in Milwaukee. I was born in Peoria, Illinois, but we moved back to Milwaukee, lived here for 10 years. My dad was an executive at Schlitz Brewing Company. Go Schlitz! My brother still lives in Milwaukee and Minneapolis, so this is it's actually a little bit of a homecoming for me, and it's exciting to be here. So let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about Xbox, and let's talk about what I learned during the Xbox business. And the premise of this story is that at the heart of civic engineering has to come the words strategy. And it was great that you got to hear the introduction from my book, because it really laid out the importance of strategy in what we do. And unfortunately, strategy is not something we think about every day. We see a problem and we try to dive into it. And so I'm going to give you a story of a problem. We dove into it and how strategy saved the day. So the Xbox business started in 1999 with a crazy premise. Microsoft was going to build a video game console in 18 months, which means to do the hardware you get about 11 months. We'd never done anything bigger than a mouse before. We had no hardware team. We didn't have a software team. We had 20 people. We had no manufacturing or operations capability, and we didn't sell to retailers. But other than that, we were perfectly well prepared to take this problem on. And so this is a complicated problem. And the way we attacked that complicated problem, we had some really smart people, and we said, we're just going to get it done. We're going to out-horsepower the problem. We're going to muscle our way to the finish line. And in 18 months, we're going to produce a great console. That was the most painful 18 months of my life. I basically came to work every day, and I said to myself, what's on fire today? I have a fire hose. Let me go try to put that fire out. Microsoft said, OK, you've done the hard part now. Show us you can actually really do it right. And show us you understand what you've learned and that you can make things better. So in our discussion of civic engineering, where are we? We are at a really complex problem in the community. Happens to be a business problem in the case of Xbox, but that's where we are, a really complex problem. And education, immigration, pick your favorite complex problem. That's where we are. And my team in the business world said, well, to solve that problem, we need a strategy. Our problem with the first version is the strategy was get it done, not how to get it done, not what are we doing, not what are we going to accomplish. And so we stepped back and we developed our own strategy process, which I write about in my book, which I now call the 3P framework. And the 3P framework says if you have a complex problem, if you have something you're trying to accomplish, you got to write in 3 pages the following 3 things. Your purpose, which I'll talk about in a minute, your principles, and your priorities. But let me tell you, writing that down in 3 pages for a 2,500 person project that is super complicated is actually quite hard. And so we did write it down. We wrote a 3-pager. We argued about it for a month, and then we published it. And that 3-page document led the creation of the product that became Xbox 360. So what's in the 3P framework? Purpose. Michael mentioned this briefly. Purpose is your North Star. What are you trying to accomplish in one sentence? And that sentence does not get to have semicolons, ands, dashes, or dots in it. Okay? It's one crisp sentence that describes what you're trying to accomplish. Second thing is principles. And principles basically says, I need rules of the road. I need to understand how we're going to operate. I need to understand how we're going to work as a team and how we're going to make decisions. In our Xbox scenario, one of our principles was the hardware will not lose money because that's how we lost $5 to $7 billion. We may mess it up, we may make other mistakes, but we are going to make sure that the hardware does not lose money. And that principle drove all the decisions that the team made. So now connect those dots. We have a North Star purpose. We have a set of principles, 5 of them, that really guide us, that pull a team together, that enable us to galvanize our resources in a coordinated way. And we have a set of priorities that make sure we're focused on the things that matter most. And if you can write that down in 3 pages or 3 PowerPoint slides, I will claim you have a strategy, and that is the entry point. It doesn't assure you of success, because the strategy could just be wrong. You might pick the wrong 5 priorities. You might pick a bad North Star. But it gives you the chance to be successful. Xbox 360, what happened? That product sold, to date, over 80 million consoles. Market share went from low 20s to high 40s. It's the #1 selling console in the world in every market, except in Japan. But at least in Japan, we had positive market share, which was a good achievement. We felt very good about that. And that business made billions of dollars for Microsoft. And it is now a going concern, a billions of dollars business.
Welcome back to welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm just used to saying welcome back to Talking Fitchburg. So there you have it. Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch the full piece of this? We'll have it up on the comm channel airing starting next week. And Andrew says it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. You just got a good sample there of it, but pretty cool stuff.
I'm definitely interested to watch the full one.
Me too. So check that out, and then we'll get the package put up on our YouTube page later today. All right, coming up next, we're going to move into the PB&J. Stay tuned. It's Talk Fitchburg.